Hey guys, what's up? Unrested here, trying out a new setup with my little YouTube studio type thing I've got going on in this room. I figured out I could back up my camera a lot. Like there's a setting on it that just like pulls back the camera a bunch, and I just didn't even know that existed. It's just filming every video with like my head and my torso cut off. Um, and the cat unable to be seen. All you would see is this little cat tail sticking up. I'm also just testing how good the sound is with the microphone this far away. It's much farther away than it is usually. Um, and I want to use this time just to tell a little story to see how the sound is and how the video picks up and everything like that. I'm still kind of building out the studio. As you can tell, there's like a plank over here. There's like a wood table kind of showing where I need to cover it up at the bottom. But I think I'm doing all right so far. I think I'm setting it up pretty nice. My paintbrushes are kind of just sitting there oddly. So, as the title will probably say, it's going to be something like I ate a peanut butter and booger sandwich, or I ate a peanut butter and snot sandwich in Japan. And there's a story behind that. I may have told this either like on a live stream or maybe a video like 800 videos ago. But it's something I always like to rehash as to why you should try to learn the country's language as best you can while you're living there so that you don't make the kind of mistake that I made while speaking Japanese. So it was my first ALT job in Japan. And if you don't know what that is, it's like an alternative language teacher, sometimes known as an ESL teacher or an ESL teacher, English speakers of other languages or English as a second language teacher at a elementary school out in the countryside of Osaka Sayamashi. And I would always bring my bagged lunch because I still had not really gotten a taste for Japanese food yet, which really, I mean, Japanese food is wonderful. I was just being a stupid American who was like, me like me American food, me only want eat that. I eventually, over time, came to love almost every single type of Japanese food possible. But I had not adapted to things like the fish lunches and stuff like that that school kids got. You usually would be offered the school lunch that was handed out at these places. And like I said, I just had not adapted yet. And that's something I encourage all you to do is get a taste for Japanese food. If you feel like you're a person who will never ever be able to handle fish, maybe Japan's not for you because you're going to be eating a lot of fish. The only thing I'd say I never really did adapt to was natto, which is fermented beans, and maybe the way liver is cooked in Japan. Although I don't really like liver in any country I've ever been to, so I don't think that's a Japan thing. I think that's a me thing. So I get to this school, I'm working there for my first day, and I've brought my bagged lunch, in which I've included probably something like celery sticks with ranch dressing and a peanut butter and honey sandwich that I had for my main course. Is that what you would call it? The main source of protein for that meal. And if you pull your bag lunch out in a classroom, because you eat in the classroom in Japan, in a classroom full of elementary school students, I think these were probably Gonensei, fifth grade students, they want to know what you're eating. They're very interested in finding out what American food you have brought into the Japanese classroom, which they're kids, they're curious, it's natural. There's nothing wrong with that. Are they uh, are they a bit nosy? Yeah, but they're little kids. They don't understand. They're not like able to understand like, oh, it's really kind of rude to just start looking through someone's lunch and see what they brought in. They're kids. Let them be kids. You only get to do it for a very short amount of time. So right away they start asking me. They're like, "Oh, Scotto sensei, nani totte kita? What did you bring?" And of course, I pull out my celery sticks, and they're kind of like, "Well, that's a little bit weird that you would just eat like celery as like a snack." But what is your sandwich made out of? And at that time, like I said, my Japanese was not the best. I had not even been in Japan, I think, a full year yet, I believe. So I pull this out, and I want to tell them that I have a peanuts butter and hachimitsu, which is honey, or I guess literally translated would almost be like bee water, sandwich. And I don't think that that's that crazy. Peanut butter and honey goes well together. I enjoy it, especially if you toast the bread. But I made a bit of a mistake. I decided I would say hanamitsu, not hachimitsu. Hana is your nose, and nose water is what they call snot or boogers. I guess you could also say hanakuso, which is like nose crap, which would I think that would probably be more boogers. Hanamitsu is definitely more snot, so I guess I need to make this title a peanut butter and snot sandwich. So I made the mistake of saying peanuts butter to hanamitsu, and so I just told them that I had made myself a peanut butter and snot sandwich, and the whole classroom, like super loud, talking amongst themselves because it's lunchtime, noises at probably a level 5 out of a level 0 to 5, and the needle comes off the record, and everyone just turns around and is like, oh, kimochi warui, kimoi. Like, America no tabemono wa hontou ni kimoi. Like, what are Americans eating? This is disgusting. Like, this guy came to our class, and one of his delicacies from America is a peanut butter and snot sandwich. Like, these kids started laughing, falling out of their chair. I hadn't even realized what mistake I had just made yet. I'm looking around the classroom like, what? What? Ugh, peanut butter and honey, guys. I mean, it's not that crazy. I look at the sensei, the other main Japanese sensei who's in there. I look at her like, what? What are they freaking out about? Is honey that gross in Japan? And she's like, hachimitsu, hachimitsu. And I'm like, oh, I said hanamitsu, didn't I? Whoops. Yeah, so that left the entire class for the rest of the year being like, oh, this is Scato Sensei. He enjoys snot and peanut butter sandwiches. And I guess from that day on, I made sure I ate the Japanese lunch because their ideas of what I was bringing in these paper bag lunches from that point on was just like, oh, what do you got? Like pig eyeballs today? What are you eating, Scott Sensei? My reputation was now notorious for what things I was carrying in that paper bag lunch. So let this be a lesson to those of you who want to come to the country with like little to no Japanese like I did. That was my big mistake. I tried to study a little bit. I like learned how to introduce myself and how to say simple things. Watashi no namae wa Scotto desu. That doesn't help anything. How many times are you going to say that? Learn how to speak like a little bit of conversational and like learn to like pin sentences together. Even if they sound like fragmented, it's okay. Just try to speak in like full sentences and like maybe double check inside your brain a couple times before you speak. Will these mistakes still happen? Oh yeah. Do I have other stories of me making horrible mistakes? Absolutely. And I will get to them maybe in some future videos. And probably when I get back to Japan in May, I'll ask my wife of what some of the things I said in the past that embarrassed her when we were together and I was trying to answer stuff in Japanese. I'm sure she's got stories that I don't even realize of mistakes I've made. So I think it's always good to joke in a self-deprecating manner so that you realize your mistakes of the past to make yourself better for the future. And those are the stories I hope to relay in the future. And like I said, this is kind of like a mic check and a camera check type thing for this video. I hope you enjoyed that tiny little story. I'm just going to keep this video short and sweet. And I'll put it up probably on Monday because I have Monday off. It's President's Day, I believe, here in America. So I'll see you on that day, and thanks again so much for watching. Those of you, I feel like I've gotten a couple new subscribers and stuff like that on this channel that was forever a dead channel. So thank you to any new people joining the channel. If you could just subscribe, that would be awesome. I'd really appreciate it. And any of you long-term fans who just say things like, I'm so happy to see you posting on here again, like that means a ton. That's like super heartwarming to me and honestly really motivating. The other thing is, if you ever want to do something for the channel, I'm not asking for any money, I'm not asking for any donations. I'm asking that you would maybe share the video. Any little bit of sharing would help. That's like money in itself. Thank you again. Thank you for anything you do to help the channel out. I will talk to you again soon. I hope you have a great rest of the day.